you have recently recovered from COVID-19 and possibly from the BA.1 Omicron variant. And now we know that BA.2 is outcompeting BA.1. So you might be wondering whether we can get infected with BA.2 again. That is, whether reinfection with BA.2 is possible after getting infected with BA.1. And if one gets reinfected, what about the disease severity? That's what we are going to discuss today. We are going to see the real world data from a study in Denmark, and we are also going to see whether antibodies developed against BA.1 give protection against BA.2 as well. Let's see the Denmark study first. 47 people in Denmark during this study were taken who were infected with BA.1 and then reinfected with BA.2 within 20 to 60 days of the primary infection. So from this study we can say reinfection is possible, but of course it is very rare. Now if we look at the table, you can see if the first infection is due to BA.1, 17 people were reinfected with BA.1 again. 47 people were reinfected with BA.2 and no one was reinfected with Delta. If the first infection was BA.2, then no one got reinfected with BA.1 and only 3 got reinfected with BA.2 again, and no one got reinfected with Delta. However, if the first infection is due to Delta, 26 got reinfected with BA.1, 140 with BA.2 and 30 with Delta. So this table clearly says that if one is infected with Omicron BA.1 or BA.2, then reinfection with Delta is not possible. So it seems from this study that Omicron imparts protection against Delta. But if one is infected with Delta, then reinfection with Omicron is possible. Let's now focus on BA.2 reinfection in this video. Most of the people who were reinfected were young and were unvaccinated. None of them were above 38 years of age. Let's see whether reinfection is severe. The good news is none of the 47 reinfected were hospitalized and no death occurred. Let's concentrate in this table again. The first infection is shown in the left side and the reinfection is shown in the right side in blue color. Remember, first infection is due to BA.1 and the second infection is due to BA.2. When in the first infection no symptoms were there, during reinfection 2 had no symptoms, 1 had mild symptom. When in the first infection symptoms were mild, 2 had no symptoms and 13 had mild symptoms, 2 had moderate symptoms. While when the first infection gave moderate symptoms, 1 had no symptoms upon reinfection, 9 had mild symptoms and 3 had moderate symptoms. So from this table, it is pretty much clear that most of the infections were mild upon infection and no one had severe symptoms and none were hospitalized. That's really good news. Remember CT value in case of RT-PCR? Higher the CT value means less viral load. In case of reinfection, the viral load was very less. So the bottom line is reinfection is possible, but it is rare, it is mild, it happens in the unvaccinated mostly, and it happens in the young people. So what we saw is the clinical outcome. Let's see another study which says whether antibody produced against BA.1 can give cross protection against BA.2. They collected blood samples from 24 individuals who were vaccinated with 2 doses of Pfizer BioNtech and also had the booster dose. And they also collected blood samples from 8 individuals who were COVID positive due to BA.1, and they collected the blood samples within 14 days of positive result. That means they will develop antibodies against BA.1. Now they wanted to see whether the antibodies from these individuals can neutralize the original variant, the BA.1 and the BA.2 variant. Do you remember that neutralizing antibodies stop the virus from entering our cells? That means they give protection to us. So, more neutralizing antibody means more protection. After 2 primary doses of Pfizer BioNtech, the neutralizing antibody were 23-fold lower in case of BA.1 and 27-fold lower in case of BA.2 compared to the original variant. 6 months after the 2 primary doses, the neutralizing antibody against BA.1 and BA.2 were almost below detectable level. However, upon booster shot, the neutralizing antibody increased in all the 3 cases, but compared to the original, it was reduced by 6.1-fold in case of BA.1 and 8.4-fold in case of BA.2. The neutralizing antibody were 1.44 lower in case of BA.2 compared to BA.1. So even after vaccination, we have seen earlier also that much protection is not imparted against Omicron variant. But booster dose increases the neutralizing antibody. So boosters work against both the Omicron variants. An almost equal amount of neutralizing antibody was seen in case of BA.1 and BA.2. Now let's see the most exciting part. Once one is infected with BA.1, neutralizing antibody will develop against BA.1. Now the question is, does this neutralizing antibody give protection against BA.2 also? The neutralizing antibody developed in these individuals infected with BA.1 gave protection against the original variant, against BA.1 and also against BA.2. However, it was 1.3-fold lower in case of BA.2 compared to BA.1. So this study suggests that vaccinated individuals who have been infected with BA.1 will get cross protection against BA.2 as well. That might be one of the reasons why we don't see much severe symptoms against BA.2 even after reinfection. So the bottom line is, reinfection is possible, but of course very rare. It is mild and cross protection is imparted. That's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's talk. So don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more COVID updates. Thank you.